Oh, damn!
This is my first evening in Ottawa, the capital of Canada. It so happened that we unfortunately stopped at a traffic light in one of the dangerous areas of the city center. And this is Toronto, the main metropolis of the country, which is also called the Canadian New York. Many parks right in downtown are taken over by tent cities where the homeless and drug addicts reside. Come on.
Put that down. You're a fucking pussy. You're the most simple bitch I've ever met. Literally just hit this guy and his life. Go back to where the you're from.
Around the world, Canada is associated with a safe and comfortable place, and in many ways, it really is, but not 100%. In most major cities of this country, there are dangerous areas. On the streets, you can encounter drug addicts, and offenders and criminals here are often released almost without any punishment.
This is abnormal. It's unsafe here. There's marijuana on this corner, marijuana on that corner, marijuana here. You walk by 6 marijuana shops and only 1 food store.
This is Oksana, and she was recently shot. The shooter was detained but not convicted and might be released.
And now imagine they release him. But I'm scared. I could just be walking down the street and suddenly get shot in the head. Can you please get out from me?
This is Fort York. This was the capital of Upper Canada when it was still a colony. Everything started here, and look where it led. Elite high-rises, glass skyscrapers, luxury and success. The wealthy in lofts count their profits while rich girls sunbathe without leaving their luxurious terraces and without going down to the street. But below, under the overpasses, it's not so pleasant. Piles of garbage, dirt, and tents of those who can't afford even the cheapest housing. Tents set up on grass instead of concrete are considered luxurious, like I took the subway to the Yonge Dundas Square area. You step out and enter the future. Skyscrapers, huge screens, everything flickers and shines. Once again, it invites a comparison to New York's Times Square in Manhattan. But the area is also known for its seedy side. These cops have already detained someone and packed them into the car. 50 meters away, guys are helping each other tie off an arm with a belt to find a vein. Here they are, 5 minutes later, gently touching each other. Freaky, unusual, and distorted guys at every turn. They photographed meditation multiple times, SF. Here, addicts try to blend in with tourists and earn somehow for their dose. But there are also places that they have completely taken over, right here in the city center, where there are many parks. This is one of those occupied parks. A tent city has long been set up here whose residents the authorities do not disturb and even kind of protect. Here, 2 volunteers are on watch. People try to use the park as intended and walk their dogs, but the atmosphere nearby is not so great. It's not hard to identify those who have just taken drugs. They freeze and don't move for a long time. The main drug problem in the USA and Canada, it's fentanyl. It resembles morphine and heroin but is much stronger. It is still used as a painkiller, but people who get hooked on it turn into vegetables, can't get off it, and very often die from overdoses. The majority of street addicts here are on fentanyl. Apart from the dose, nothing else interests them. In drug towns, Canada's laws work in a special way. Here are shots from a local daredevil who decided to film right inside and send them to me. Footage. There is a generator and a sort of kitchen in one of the tents. The Cuban flag, apparently there are migrants, and even bicycles. It's impossible to film in more detail.
Defeat the truth, brother. Yes, you can make videos, and I can. I probably paid more taxes than you have. I used to have a handyman company, maintenance for buildings like that. I used to work right there. Because I live here right now, doesn't mean I haven't paid taxes.
But in my opinion, Jack is quite reasonable. But the situation is heating up and security arrives, which in truth doesn't intervene at all.
But you're not going to do anything anyway, so just leave. Don't worry about it. You're not going to do anything. Even if I hit him, you're not going to do nothing, right? Exactly. So what's the point? What's the point? I should literally just hit this guy and his life. Are you think because you pay $1 little of tax that you own this place? You're a fucking pussy. Don't ever come near me. If you're not gonna do nothing, get away from me. Because I'm not gonna fucking hit him. I'm gonna bait him into hitting me though. I guarantee it. You're a fucking bitch in life. Keep coming, keep following, bitch. Go back to where the fuck you're from.
$10 пирожок. Я бы в Молдове умер с таких цен. Здесь как-то привыкаешь. Одно тесто.
I came from Toronto to Ottawa. The capital is much smaller and quieter, but looks businesslike. The first thing I do is ride around downtown. Alexei is driving, and while we're chatting at the traffic light, a stranger bursts into the frame. Damn. We'll fix this. Can you imagine? I didn't expect this, and it's right here at this spot.
Такого не ожидал.
А это мы как раз на этом пятачке, да?
Да. Здравствуйте.
Ёшкин кот. This is the spot where there's a shelter for drug addicts. It's always crowded here. They distribute hard drugs. What if we send this video to the police right now? What will happen?
Unfortunately, I can't go out to confront him.
Well, you can't.
Unfortunately, in the States, it wouldn't be a problem. I wouldn't get anything for it, I think. In Canada? Yes.
But you can definitely hit a car, yet hitting a person is a different matter.
I would have thought that, but unfortunately you can't.
Do they ever catch up and pull someone out of the car?
One car chases another and someone tries to slow down and pull someone out of the car. That happened a couple of times, probably already such a video, but it has happened.
Guts in place. Anti-torch system. Alex has been in Canada for about 2 years and works in delivery with this car.
Did you get the car recently? 2 weeks. Why a Dodge? The price was 5,000 Canadian dollars, which is like 3,600.
No tickets, that's good.
I have a friend who works at Uber Eats and is constantly on Eats deliveries. He already has parking tickets worth about $400.
With Alex, we're heading back to the city center.
What's the deal? Downtown starts 1-2 blocks, and then comes the government district. Government buildings, amazing, just visually. Not a single homeless person, not a single addict, no one. Well, it's like they're like, as I say, NPCs in a game, you know? They don't go beyond the square. They aren't really bothered. I mean, there are plenty of crazy people and such guys here. There's a big shopping center here. Maybe that's why. Plus, maybe they hand out something here. And everyone hangs out here. There are quite nice houses everywhere. I think the cost of these houses, at the moment, it's quite specific. I mean, there's legalization here and weed is legalized. As far as I know, in British Columbia, drugs are fully decriminalized. I mean, like conditionally heroin and other things.
It smells a lot like weed here. By the way, I didn't smell it anywhere in Montreal, but here it's everywhere. Just got lucky, I guess. It doesn't depend on the homeland, I think. There are quite a few weed shops around, but we're going where it's tougher. An invisible line, we're crossing it now, and we shivered simply, and you feel that it's going to happen now. And now it's going to be a fun neighborhood. It smells like some kind of horse, I think. It smells like a horse? Maybe they ate a horse and are sleeping? Look, boarded up doors and windows. What's in there? Could it be a den? But the light is on, right? Well, it's strange, you have to agree. I think they're cooking crocodile in there. An Airbnb for addicts. The closer you get to the shelter, which is like a refuge for addicts, the sadder the situation becomes. Those who are conscious are rummaging through grass and trash, doing some strange things. The rest are out cold, and not always lying down. How does a person sleep standing up? Horrible. This is the shelter itself and the guards who work here. Nearby, people mostly sit on the wet floor, but there's also a guy on a chair in a clean tracksuit. You wouldn't guess he's on fentanyl. Mostly they try to inject themselves without going far. Ah, well, I'll just sing along with her, just a little bit. Notice, here's the guy who attacked our car. He's not so angry anymore. He's enjoying himself and relaxing. Look, the cops are right across the road.
Those are paramedics.
I'll tell you, they're pleasant but not intimidating.
Well, not critical, yeah. I wouldn't say I'm enjoying it.
Well, it seems they've been given free rein here. Walk around, shoot up, but don't touch anyone.
And preferably, simply don't breathe too deeply, because the smells are quite indescribable.
You might just pass out if you take a really deep breath. Someone might just catch a high. Further down, people are just giving out alcohol.
I mean, no, the guys can hang out here on the corner and they're on the corner because they sell alcohol there, and there's a store because they might get some change. And just like that, with a cup, they make like $100 easily. That's not bad. Then how much do you make? I make 200, but I work. And I also pay taxes, so I have less than 200. Sometimes I think about going out with a cup so I can work.
The strangest thing is that the main drug den is indeed located very close to the government and business districts.
Here's a hotel. Now, Zelensky came here. He stayed at this hotel.
And like we drove away, how far? 3 blocks and there are no homeless people here.
Here's where Parliament starts.
In the morning, I'm going for a walk in the city center again. There are a lot of police in the metro. On the streets, people also try to walk in groups of at least 4. In the business district, not everyone is a businessman, and everyone has different affairs. Some are able to earn enough for a sports car, while others have startups more related to begging. This guy threw his bike on the roadside and immediately started going from car to car. Here, a little man has completely emptied the trash bins and is meticulously examining every piece of paper or packet. And you know, for diligence and perseverance, he was rewarded. He clearly found something valuable in the end. These guys are tallying up profits in hopes of investing in a dose, while next to them sleep those who have already passed that stage and are resting. A pot of honey. And something else. Everywhere there are displays offering something to smoke. And even mushrooms, which are definitely not champignons, are also sold openly.
Here on the corner, marijuana. There on the corner, marijuana. Here, marijuana. You pass 6 marijuana shops and only 1 food store.
They are on every corner.
Count how many per square meter.
This is the area where Oksana lives. The atmosphere is oppressive. One of the busiest streets in the city, but the neighborhood residents don't seem very well off. The homeless have to sleep right on the avenue. Okay, some of these people are on hard drugs and are comfortable on the curb, but here by the store, I was taken aback. A large group of relatively normal guys are sitting on the concrete, passing around some substances. The stores themselves with bars are quite a sight too. Right by Oksana's house, a girl completely high is searching for something in the bushes for a long time while her boyfriend sleeps nearby. That's actually their little picnic. Oksana herself just barely came out to meet me because she was shot in the leg on the bus a few days ago.
Can you please get out from me? Can you please get out from me? Can you call 911? Can you call 911?
Yes, I can walk in general, but I want to limp. My leg hurt, just terribly. I had to, of course, take a little morphine.
Now Oksana is on strong painkillers. Here's the bullet that was removed from her leg, and after the surgery, there's a scar left, which is gradually healing.
I was going to return cans, metal ones. You buy beer there, pepper, and they start bullying another person. Then they turned on the speaker. And I just say, well, listen. And I politely tell him, well, listen, either you turn down the music or just leave the bus. Well, guys, what are you doing? And he's just like kind of getting off the bus himself. Well, I understand that the guys are young. I didn't know they posed a danger.
Then Oksana went to complain to the driver.
And I feel that he's not really interested in what's happening. And he says, listen, there's a constable. And he stopped near this constable and says, guys, well, now we're going to call 911. 911. And here's another constable. I say, listen, get off the bus.
At that time, Oksana wasn't filming yet, but she was holding the phone in her hand. Did he want to steal the phone or what?
He wanted to retrieve the phone because he actually thought I captured a photograph of him. But in reality, I didn't take his picture. I was just sitting there thinking about what to do. This guy they were sitting with bullying, no one says anything. Listen. They were swearing at him there. I mean, people, I don't know, if I were in Kyiv riding a minibus, people would have stopped it. Our people would have stopped it. They don't participate at all. Not even anyone said anything. Only one black guy was sitting in the second seat. And he was like, you know, well, What are you doing? At least something. Yeah, exactly. So I kind of reacted, I looked like this. I was just scared. The thing is, I was scared. Don't understand what'll happen.
Oksana didn't know he had a gun.
I was pushing him away with my feet because it was too much. He had already started grabbing me and was already specifically yelling at me. What was he planning at that moment? Why was his backpack open?
The backpack where the gun was?
Well, of course, yes.
So he probably thought he might have to shoot.
Maybe he might have to shoot?
Seeing the gun, Oksana didn't panic and with a steady breath tried to dodge.
I was covering myself like this. I practically lay down on the seat, meaning I fell into it. Well, because the gun was just aimed at me.
Can you please call 911? What kind of gun was it? Was it an air gun?
Yes, it was a pneumatic gun.
Oksana didn't understand what kind of gun was being shot at her. And even though a pneumatic gun is weaker than a combat one, the bullet went in deep.
3 centimeters, and after 2 weeks it had already moved up by 1 centimeter, 2 centimeters upwards.
Was the body pushing out?
The body was actually pushing it out.
The shooter was wearing a mask, but it didn't help him.
I showed them the video, and they used the video. I mean, they recorded it, and that's it. And then they quickly caught him. That is, within 30 to 40 minutes. Oh, he was already with them. He wasn't smart enough to get far or to throw away the gun.
A relatively smart person in their right mind wouldn't shoot someone simply because they were asked to get off the bus.
I don't know his first name or last name. I spoke with victim services because I'm currently looking for anything at all. That is, to somehow get a hold of something and actually resolve this case. Because victim services told me that they might release him on bail. But 20 years old is already an adult. That is, once you turn 18, you should be held accountable for this. They told me that they might release him. Viktor Semenovich said maybe he was drunk or high on drugs. Why should that concern me? Listen, you are letting these people out on the street. That is, this is a young man who poses a threat to society. When I talk later with Canadians and I somehow say, listen, this is not normal, it's not safe here. They tell me, no, you just got a fortunate ticket that you happened to get. I mean, honestly, that is, you just got lucky. You ended up in the wrong place. Let's take a look now at the level of education and healthcare here. The level is crap. Paid, right? And he got out, right?
Yes, by the way, it's the same kind of pneumatic.
That's a shot, and I feel it.
Just nearby, someone actually fired a gun quite similar to this one.
I got paranoid. Listen, I take the bus to work every day. Just imagine, they let this person out.
He's riding next to me.
Out of revenge, in a fit of revenge, due to the fact that he is compelled to go through something, he'll kill me. I won't even know. And he could have killed me back then.
According to Oksana, the youth in Canada are forgiven for everything.
It's a kind of tolerance that doesn't capture at all. You see, I can't give her this foundation. It's indifference. If we were having a conversation like this now, and a Canadian was sitting right next to us, he would think that we are, in a way, some kind of aggressive people. I think it's normal to take the side of another person. You understand? It could have been, for example, someone's mother. Or it could have been someone's child. They don't even understand this. Not that they don't understand, there was some kind of complaint. Well, they asked for it. No, well, yes, but listen, someone needs to be wiser on the bus. But the social inactivity is indeed quite pronounced. Extremely so indeed. So, for example, here's another example for you. In the store, I was buying something, a woman was sitting in a wheelchair. She had a tank, she had a mask, and her eyes, no. I'm standing in line, I'm 8th or 7th. No one let her through. In front of me, I said, listen, go ahead, but I can't. So what is this? People aren't interested on the bus, For them, it's like they've watched a movie, that's what happened. Thanks to someone who also filed a report with the police, like what happened to me back then. From those present? Yes, from those present? Yes. 2 people. 2 people were found. I'm grateful to these people because I don't know them. But when I get on the bus, I still want to meet the person I defended. I hugged him. And I just, had a breakdown. I just cried for 2 hours, I couldn't stop. First of all, why did this happen to me? And then, when everyone says that you open your mouth, there's a complete dissonance. I mean, who are you people anyway?
Well, it seems like things are really abnormal here for them. Oksana has not yet received any help from the government.
This is what social insecurity is. Canada is not an easy place.
During the day, the area where the drug shelter is located takes on new colors. What's particularly amusing is that next to the place where they distribute hard drugs, there's a childcare center. The whole neighborhood could easily be renamed to Zombieland. These two, for example, never made it to where they were going with that car. They face-planted right into the asphalt. Apparently, it hit them faster than usual. Our friend from yesterday is also here. It feels like you can't walk everywhere in this city. It's strange, for example, where we are, you can walk wherever you want. For the junkies, it's really great here. There are mattresses everywhere, chairs scattered around. In winter, though, I don't understand where they hide. Now they're hanging out, everywhere from the bushes. The junkies are hanging out. Literally on the next street are the homes of regular Canadians. Plumbers and Pakistani electricians are calmly working for the good of Canada. Around this corner is the main den. Nearby is already the business district. You can put your watch back on. This is Toronto again, and I've already made a video about this metropolis. This is Valery. He has been in Canada for a very long time. Throughout his legal career, he has dealt with numerous cases related to violence, drug addiction, and weapons.
A lot is changing regarding weapons. When I was still studying in law school, we had minimal criminal sentences for weapons. Did they find a weapon on you? Unregistered, meaning there's no right, and all 5 years this doesn't apply to him in any way. Today, probably not every week, but you'll see someone in the city center who has been shot, and someone is already stabbing. But these are immigrants. If you start looking at who is part of this,
Most likely, probably those who can't handle life here.
expensive life.
The situation with drug addicts on the streets is no less complicated.
The problem there is that it's unclear what to do with them. They break the law, they walk around attacking everyone. But you arrested them, put them in jail, and then what? You release them, they get out and continue roaming around. And that's basically how it all ends, to put it simply.
No, from another perspective. On the street, they pose a danger.
Yes, they didn't used to be a threat, but now they are very aggressive, so don't walk the streets at night. Tent cities, they never existed before. I mean, they set up these tents and it's fine, and no one says anything. Drug consumption centers have been legalized, so they say, well, why would you stay in your tent? With dirty syringes, wells, come to us, we have a center here. Just bring your drugs and we will definitely facilitate it for you. We'll do it properly so that you're okay. Today, these hard drugs are kind of banned, but in these centers they can administer them.
Well, there's such a center right in downtown Ottawa. Can it be moved out of the city, somewhere into the field?
It would be good, but
Inhumane.
and today the government, they mostly make decisions that work quickly. They don't think long term. They just want to do it now. There's a problem, it needs to be built quickly now. So let that center be there. But it's like we pretended that we made some decision.
It might seem that there's only one occupied park in Toronto. But no, according to Valery, the Zombieland is quickly expanding and there are many hotspots. He took these photos himself. Valery sometimes goes on such photo hunts, and this time he ended up at Kensington Market. Here, a tent city has just surrounded the church. People here, so to speak, are catching a high right at the church entrance. Besides fentanyl, which I already mentioned, the second plague is crack. Here's a guy amusing himself with it. Dmitry has been living in Canada for 20 years. He is a financier, made a lot of money, and moved to a skyscraper in a cool area of Toronto.
He bought an apartment right in the center near the CN Tower with a beautiful view, not far from a large green park.
Near the house, there was a great park with a fountain and lawns.
A couple of years ago, our park suddenly started filling up with tents of homeless people. They trampled all the grass, left a mountain of trash and polluted the fountain. One day, When I was walking through the park, they surrounded me in a crowd and found out that I was extremely aggressive. I called the police, but the police refused to come. They said it was the mayor's order and that I should address all questions to her. And now, it's better for me to go home. After all, it's still safe to walk.
Dmitry blames the mayor of Toronto for what's happening. This woman. Such photos are often published to discredit her. I have no idea what kind of person she is, just the image really is at least amusing.
The city mayor can't do anything. When we had the mayoral elections in Toronto, there were 150 candidates, and for the most part it wasn't clear who they were. And somehow she was chosen. But she is not coping, also with difficulty, very much so. For example, today they came up with the tax in Toronto. If you have an apartment and it's not rented out, it's empty, you pay a tax for an empty apartment. Therefore, they'll take even your last pair of underwear from you.
So if you don't rent out your apartment, you pay a tax. If you rent it out, the person just doesn't pay. You rent it out for free. In short, it just encourages you to give away your housing for free to someone.
Yes, unfortunately, there are a lot of people here who hold many various different positions, roles and responsibilities. They were hired there not only because they are very competent, but also because they fit into this, unfortunately. This, is it? How to say diversification. In your staff, you should have people of different nationalities. There should be LGBT people, your own. That is, even in law school I noticed, people there told me, those who are already studying now, they say that, damn, half of the students shouldn't be there at all. They are indeed admitted just to have this diversity, this policy.
In hopes of influencing the leadership, Canadians often protest. In these frames, a truckers' protest, the largest in recent years.
You should know this. Like a city day, with concerts, barbecues and hot dogs. Some things for money, some for free. A lot of people donated money there. And it was also peaceful. There were no arrests at all. That is, it's not like... I see some protests where everyone is screaming like crazy, running around. And there the police are chasing everyone, breaking things and putting them on buses. Here, people walk around politely. It was a city day.
According to Valery, Canadian police rarely get the right to act harshly and break someone.
What do the police in Canada say? If someone is stealing your car, so that they don't break down your door, and you don't put yourself in danger, just leave the car keys on the doorstep. If they want to steal, let them take the keys, get in the car and drive away. Well, why break down the door and disturb our peace? What does the American police officer say? Dear folks, who are these? Citizens? We hold a handgun shooting class on Saturdays. So, if someone comes to you, shoot, don't hesitate. It's even better if you shoot them, because it's less work for us. The neighbor across the street, his car was stolen. Here in the neighborhood, right across from me. If it's insured, then it's not a big deal. He's crying, yes. These insurances are expensive.
Well, Alexei has a good sense of the police presence. It's better not to cross on red here.
Because Christina got a ticket for $50, but that was still in Montreal. It was winter, and that kind of thing wasn't working. The button wasn't working properly. They kept pressing it. There were probably about 5 people standing there. Well, they didn't wait. They decided to cross. Lights started flashing. It was an undercover car.
Like John marked, like again, like...
Just a regular black one. Flashing lights. Come here, everyone. And they ticketed about 5 people, each for $50.
Oh, well, we would have just been caught right away. Look, 2 police cars. This evening, downtown Toronto is almost completely closed off. I have no idea why, but there are no fewer suspicious characters here because of it. The homeless need to sleep too. And those who aren't on fast drugs settle down to sleep on the floor and in tents. I'm almost sleeping in a tent myself today. This is a hostel room, and on the neighboring bed they've actually set up a little tent for coziness. It's no wonder people live on the street. Even a bed in such a shabby and unpleasant hostel costs $50.
Canada is a very expensive country. Everything related to real estate is very expensive. Specifically expensive, because if you want to buy a house, well, you have to pay at least $500,000.
Made of plywood? Yes.
In Ottawa, we rented a place. It was like a private house, but made into 2 apartments. The house was old from the 80s. Visually, they did a decent renovation there. Relatively decent. We paid 1,400 Canadian dollars. It was a 1-bedroom. A bedroom that only fits a bed. And a little bit of space for 2 nightstands, so to speak.
Considering these prices, do you have to work a lot to maintain a normal lifestyle?
That is, if it's a family, 1 person can support it, you'll be living paycheck to paycheck. Well, that's what I'm doing now because Christina is on maternity leave. No. There's maternity leave, but the money is spent. Saving up significantly won't be possible.
The pedestrian area in Ottawa is beautiful and cozy. The atmosphere strongly resembles a pleasant European city. Alexei and his wife left home a couple of days before the war.
We arrived with $100 in our pocket. That is, we didn't initially plan to go to Canada because we were heading to Egypt. On February 23rd, we went to Egypt for a vacation. I had never been abroad before. I went on vacation for the first time, and I'm still on vacation.
The first 6 months were tough, but the Canadians helped with housing.
We went to the church, and the priest told us that he knows someone, a Canadian. Yes, a very peculiar house. We had an apartment upstairs and there was a funeral home downstairs.
So you arrive in Canada with no money. The government provided something. Gave something. 3,000 per person?
Person?
Not bad. You lived on that for a while, but you had to work hard. What did you do?
What didn't I do? First, I got a job as a security guard. I had never been a security guard, but it was interesting as it was Formula 1. It was a night security guard position, but I saw the trophies. Formula 1 is cool because the Grand Prix happens in Montreal every year. The pay was decent, especially when you have no money. They gave me $22 an hour and then added a bonus. In about 2 to 3 weeks, I managed to earn something, well, less than a full salary specifically. Then I worked as an assistant to air conditioner installers because I also had experience in that. We used to do it at home with my father. We sold and installed them. It was, to put it mildly, a bit illegal because you need a license. I worked here for cash because there are 2 options. Either I work for cash or I don't earn anything at all.
How are you going to break out of this and start something of your own?
By using my brain.
Now, Alexei is a delivery driver.
For now, I had to work as a driver for Amazon.
You work a lot, I understand.
We have a 10-hour work shift. They pay us about $20. Job. I'll say this. It's a bit mind-numbing because the daily actions are extremely monotonous. You arrive, load up, leave, and arrive again. At the first stop, you take out your phone, place the package, take a photo, and do this 200 times a day. I work 4 days a week, but sometimes it's 10 hours, and that's exhausting.
Alexei is one of the fastest couriers in the city.
They drive slowly, especially when an elderly person gets in the left lane. But I'm in a car, I'm driving, I'm in a hurry, I need to deliver the packages faster. But I can't, I need to be faster. I start to get frustrated, but no one else is in a hurry. They just relax, that's all. We don't understand this because it's ingrained in us. Yes, we are used to the hustle. Yes, you're in a hurry needing the money. But on the other hand, if you were born in Canada, hypothetically speaking, bought a house 50 years ago for a sack of potatoes and sold it now for $1 million, you don't have to hurry anywhere.
Oksana is a psychologist, can't continue her career in Canada.
You will never become a friend. No matter what, you come in and the crappiest job is yours, for example, changing 30 pairs of diapers a day, filled with crap. I say, listen, I'm a psychologist, I know what to do with children, I'm very I know something with them, like I did some good things, shared my experience. They looked at me with wide eyes. Go, change the diapers.
According to Oksana's observations, those born in Canada look down on newcomers.
You're in Canada, you need to learn how to behave properly here. You're in Canada, we have our own rules here. I'm like, stop, wait, we are all human. I mean, we are just like me. I also have experience. I then want to understand why I, as an immigrant, came here. This is a country of immigrants. It's built by immigrants. Why should I listen to, like, hey, you're not from here? That's discrimination. I left almost every job because I was new, I just arrived. And apparently you have to listen to people here. And when I say, no, wait, that doesn't work for me, what? You don't agree? Yes, I don't agree. My boss unfairly kicked me out at work. Actually fired me because I used the guest elevator. Everyone uses this particular guest elevator frequently, including our entire department. But he saw only me and decided to fire just myself.
That's all.
Oh, you understand, there's a law here that I can't disclose where I work. Not on any social networks. I had the imprudence to write on Facebook, and the next day I already had HR on me. You must delete that post. Canadians, they avoid conflicts. It feels like they just don't care. Well, because there are states that help you. There are structures that help you down. Yes, you're so spoiled that everything helps you and you don't want to work at all. And this young generation that grew up and now they're around 40, 45 years old here, they don't need anything. Listen, they will have a pension. When I say that I have 3 degrees, finishing a 4th in Ukraine, and want another one here, why do you need it? Are you going to sit at a computer? Oh God, that's such a job. Why is the youth here so dumb? Because everything is handed to them. For example, we walk down the street, right? I'm dressed very simply. They might call me very fancy. Or, for example, I've been kicked out of restaurants 5 times because they thought I was highly intoxicated or very drunk. Although, getting me drunk is quite a challenge. When I went with the cable car, I said, if you don't believe me, we might get kicked out. We got kicked out, and I was just dancing. Not like, you know, on the table. I'm not talking about that, just freely. I was trying to enjoy life, talk to people, ask how they were doing. I got kicked out.
There was another pub.
In this pub, they didn't give me back my glasses, and I got kicked out from there too, because once a Canadian... So we were sitting drinking beer, and the Canadian says, well, how do you like it? How are the Ukrainian women in Canada? I said, listen, I don't like it. I said, it's a complete mess. We work at jobs that are total crap. You know, with 4 degrees, they're dealing with toilets, and they see it, like I said, it's very difficult. He got offended here, and I was kicked out. So they have the right here to take such a stance. If they don't like you, they won't serve you. It was someone from the staff, they kicked me out from the staff. And the one I mentioned was a customer.
He complained to the staff.
Yes, yes. That's such a nuisance came in, and that's it. So I was kicked out for that. There are very few open people here who, like right now, we're having a dialogue. Everything in my head is connected to my heart and tongue. It comes straight from me.
They have a wall. They won't tell you what they're thinking. Initially, I also thought that an immigrant shot Oksana. Guilty. I put stereotypes on people.
It's not a black guy, it's literally a Canadian man, a Canadian white man.
Well then, in that case, you'll see every teenager as...
Well, the thing is, if I see a mask, of course, I won't be on the bus in a second. I just now understand that there's no safe place anywhere. Nowhere. There were no warnings about that. Well, listen, be careful.
Don't come here, you can die here too.
Or, what do you think, will I ever forget this in my life?
So it's a lifelong trauma, right? How do you assess this damage? It's kind of intangible, but it's there.
Well, let's leave it.
How do you turn it to money?
What human life is worth, by law, if I had been injured, lost an eye, or $400,000, yes, left, without a leg, without an arm, $400,000. Over 2 years, now all this will be considered. We need to look further, listen, but I also have PTSD, a little trauma. Yes, post-traumatic stress disorder. And now how will I recover from it? Because this is re-traumatization. I came to this country as a safe place. You understand? There is no record in history of someone being shot in a bus.
I mean, in Canada or general?
In Canada. An achievement, yes. Yesterday a friend of mine came over and said, I congratulate you.
Well, with the lawyer. What, are you going to try to get him imprisoned?
You know, this really irritates me now. I have no right, to know anything about what the police are doing. And I asked if I could attend the trial. They told me no.
Really?
Yes. And now imagine, they release him. But I'm scared as hell.
It can be figured out.
Well, of course, listen, you know, where I live, I mean, you're really not far at all. I can just be simply walking down the street and I could just get a shot to the head.
No, if they let me out, will I have to at least get out?
From here? What is this, huh? I don't want to because, first of all, listen, where to? I have no strength. I really don't have the strength to go somewhere else further to look for some job.
It's best to know he received a significant sentence.
Yes, I want that. You understand? I was told that he might be released. I'm like, what are you talking about? About what exactly? What are you talking about? Wait, where is the justice? I don't want to leave this matter as it is. I understand that it will take 2 years. Well, you see, another reason to stay here. In 2 years, look, I'll get a license, open an office. I'll open a school for educators on how to raise children. Well, you know, it's an idea, some plans, but still.
But you haven't lost desire yet?
No, I haven't lost it. I'm waiting for my evolution here. The evolution of my diploma, it has already passed, but I still need to complete the registration that I am a registered psychotherapist.
Despite the difficulties, Alexei and his wife see their life specifically in Canada, and they are soon having a baby.
We literally had a meeting with the doctor today. We were at the doctor's today and everything is fine. So the problem is finding a doctor, to be honest with you. If you have a girlfriend, wife, or woman who is pregnant, it's hard to find where to register, that's true. Once you are registered, there will be no problems. They will guide you right up to the delivery.
And how can you not get in? That's how it is, you might deliver in a tub.
I mean, I don't know how it happens for others. I just push through. I called almost all the clinics in Gatineau and Ottawa. Found one. I even found a couple of options. Then we chose one.
So what do clinics tell you? No spots? No.
Waitlist.
Wait, 10 months.
That's how it is. We say, for example, that we're in the 4th month. They say to come after a certain week, after the 5th month, roughly speaking. Like something appears, then come over for a visit, we'll chat, and even then it's not guaranteed. It's more like outside during a smoke break. Yes, come on, let me feel it.
Alexei himself has dealt with Canadian medicine and is satisfied. He recently had surgery to correct his nasal septum.
I was probably lucky in Montreal. I had the surgery within a year, probably everything from the CT scan. With examinations and with all the moments, a child will also appear.
Even more? Yes, but a child will appear.
Somehow. There are 2 options. Either work harder or just spend the money that will be given for the child, because the government provides money and we will have a Canadian born right away. A Canadian is also born immediately. And depending on the family's income, they believe that up to, I think they give 800 Canadian dollars. That's our plan. We don't absolutely desire to touch the money, but we want to save everything for education later.
Well, why not party a little bit more with his money?
And then you'll ask, Dad, where's the money?
We gave you life, isn't that something? Yes.
Well, that's the point. And a passport, yes, sort of.
A Canadian passport? You haven't paid us back for the passport, brother. But still, you say that you're staying here in this place and you plan to develop further here for a while and continue to...
8 months in Poland. I built a career there. Some kind of initial one. So the foundation was laid well enough to stay there. And I wouldn't be in such a crappy situation as I am now, here, Canada. It really made me so angry that now I'm kind of putting on heels and going to do something. I can't constantly be in this victim position here. I can't work as a psychologist. I can't work, even though I have my own practice for about 10 years. I can't work as a nurse because I finished nursing a long time ago. I'll cling to any bumper with my teeth, you understand? I'm not ready for any more moving. I don't have the strength for it. A friend of mine left from here. He moved to Poland. He speaks English, he speaks French. He has a Canadian education. He graduated from university here, so it's recognized in Europe. So everything is great, everything is wonderful. He says, get out of there. And for me, you know, it's a cold sweat all over my body. Well, I mean, am I even ready to pack up?
Canada is one of the most developed countries in the world, and perhaps it's not for us to judge the methods by which Canadians build their country and society. Yes, much in the Canadian system of governance seems strange, incomprehensible, and even wild to us. But 100% they think the same about us. One thing can be said for sure: do not use drugs. It will lead you to rock bottom.